Hey guys, what's going on? It's Mr. Centaur, and this is Midwest Finesse Gaming, and we are back with another episode of this FBC FIREBREAK from the Control universe, as far as that game goes. But before we get into the game, I just wanted to have you guys take a look at something. So I see that we're rising, which is awesome, but I see that 87.2% of you that continually come back just aren't subscribed.
Consider my offer. I can give you all the amenities you need. Anything at all. You just subscribe. And we'll be friends. I mean, we're friends now, but, I mean, you know, in any case,
No big deal. Just wanted to point that out. Love you guys though. We are going up, and that's great. And if you want to see more fire content on a more consistent basis, even more days of it, I gotta reach those goals and get to that third party. Once I do, I'll be able to give you guys all the amazing content, merch, and anything else you want. Ideas flowing up here like crazy, guys. So love you. Thanks for that. Let's stop wasting time and get right into it. Alright guys, so what's going on here now is that we are joining into the public match, as you can see, and with doing this, you are going to start in with, either by yourself if you're, starting it, or you'll start right away with one or two other players. And we're doing the second mission here, which was called Paper Chase. And the object of this one is to get through the 3 clearance zones, killing the hiss, which you can see them running at me right there. And then also on top of that, you have to destroy sticky notes, and there's a couple of different ways that you can do that, but the best way is with water, but you can shoot or melee or walk over them and collect the sticky notes, and then use the shower that to take them off of you as well. So these people are just formations made out of sticky notes, and they are one of the best ways to eliminate the sticky notes, because if you look in the upper left hand corner, you will see the amount of sticky notes that you have to destroy, and with it being a multiplayer, there is different amounts of sticky notes depending on whether you're by yourself or with other people. When you're by yourself, it is definitely a lot less, and obviously when you are with more people, there are more sticky notes to collect, and each clearance zone has more sticky notes every time, and then the final boss at the end as well. Now these are just, they're not these guys bosses, they're just what I would call heavy enemy types, and the only way to actually really hurt them significantly, whatever weapon you are using, is to hit its weak point, which is on its back, which looks like another body, like a hiss, kind of hanging out the back of its spine there. It's kind of hard to see, but I figured out that the best way to get around attacking them is to run past them and strafe and get them to swing once, and then when they try to do it a second time, that is when they will actually try to smash the ground. So there's a radial damage effect there, so you have to watch out for it. But if you do get it successfully without hurting yourself, then he will be down on one knee for a few seconds, giving you some extra time to specifically hit the weak spot. As you can see there, what I was doing was using the ammo unit that you can turn on if it's turned off. Most likely will be turned off, especially in multiplayer games, so you'll have to turn them on. And they have interaction sequences that use on console LB and RB, your left bumper and your right bumpers, to do it. Otherwise, if you have the jump kit, which is the electrical kit, that uses its specific electricity to turn items on. But that is how you collect ammo, and that is how you fix things, how you manually put out fires, and a bunch of other different things as well too. It's one of the main ways to manually jumpstart things. Now, after clearing the passage there in Zone 2, which was just that area with the ammo kit and the shower, you move through that Zone 3 clearance door, and this is the first beginning area into that. And this is Sticky Ricky is his name, and he is the main anomaly that you are trying to remove, which is the whole point of the FBC, the Federal Bureau of Control, is to eliminate anomalies of things like this that occur in the world, kind of like comparing it to SCP. But in any case, you have to work together here as best you can it says to destroy even more sticky notes. Really, all you have to do here is destroy the actual Sticky Ricky boss, and there's functions that you have to do, as you can see with the yellow diamonds that you'll see on the screen with the wrenches, where if you have the wrench kit, the fix-it kit, you can use the wrench to make it a little easier, or you can manually do stuff with that with the buttons that it requires you to press to turn things on. But you're going to be essentially fixing valves, and you're going to be turning on switches that will cause him to become electrocuted, as you can see on the screen. And as he does that, he will be down long enough for you guys to shoot him. And if somebody has the water kit, you can give him even more damage by using water against him, plus shooting him, and grenades and things like that are also good. And always frequently remember to check your ammo if they aren't dropping ammo, especially on harder difficulties. There won't be as much of those things around. And using your shower as frequently as you can, because that is how you gain health. And they will always be green, the shower ones, and these ones will be like the orangish color for the ammo crates. And as you can see, this is where you would be punching in a manual sequence of buttons in order to stop the pipes from being broken. And just as a side note, when you miss the buttons, like you press the wrong buttons, if it's electrical, you will get shocked. If it has to do with fire, you will start burning, either a little bit or a lot. There's also radiation as well, that is something to look out for, and something kind of like a goo as well, like a pinkish goo that we could probably see in one of the next levels, and I can explain that one better.
There he is. It's gone. Sticky Ricky. He dead.
So as you're completing a level like this, you've just beaten the boss, such as we have there. It is not the end of the level. What is going to occur next, depending on what you're doing, how many levels you're doing, like I said, a third level will indicate the final boss, which will also unlock the next map. So if you do it on clearance level 2 or lower, you will not be unlocking any new maps if you do not have them unlocked. But you will be going into a evacuation state where your FireBreak team must return back to the elevator that you were brought down to in the old house, and you will have to turn it on, and it'll take a minute or so for it to start up, and you'll have to defend yourselves while that's happening. And there are a couple of things that can also be occurring during this time as well. While you're being chased down, you will be attacked by quite a few hiss, different types of anomaly hiss. There are floating ones in chairs. There are the normal looking guard ones that are like possessed F.B.C employees. There's ones that are like demons. They're kind of an otherworldly sort of thing. And also there's going to be probably quite a bit of fire, especially if you didn't take care of it earlier on in the game, like I said, with the splash kit, the water kit, or you know, manually putting out fires. Awesome. And the other thing to realize is in the bottom left corner, you'll see all of our health meters. And right above the top player, you can see the green nodes that has a 6 on it for me. That is your lives, either solo or as a team. Since this is a team, we have 6 to left to use. Now, they do replenish over time, especially if you get the perk upgrades for those things. But with this being said, you have to be wise about just redeploying yourself. You have a very, very long bleed out bar. And when you give yourself a chance, give your teammates a chance to come and save you, because you might run out of lives before you even finish all of your zones, because a zone could take 10 minutes or it could take 30 minutes depending on how big the zone is. Of course, the third and final zone will probably be a lot harder, but there's also the contaminations and things like that that you might have customly put into your game to give yourself more rewards. And the other thing is, right next to each of our names on the left, you can see numbers in yellow. There's a 7, there's the 1, there's a 2. Those are your perk points that you've collected, called lost assets. And you can see some right to the right of me, right here, next to that Juggernaut character. If you pick those up, those will go along with whatever experience points you gain. That will also give you more perk points that you can use to spend on your research and development for various perks and whatnot, and also your requisitions for weapons and accessories and attachments for your weapons, as well as your kits. So with that being said, that's pretty much all there is to Paper Chase. So as long as you can withstand it, you will have a great time with it.
Yeah, we did it. All right. I level up that splash kit. Yeah, I did. Good.
Alright, so the next portion of it in between your matches, your lobby wait times, you know, it's all based on you guys readying up and everything. And you will continuously be able to stay with the people who are in your crew, you know, as long as they don't leave or whatever. And it's all crossplay, of course, so, you know, you can play across all platforms that it's available on. But you can see that I'm going through the research area and collecting a few different things. This was the recruiter one that was for life replenishment faster for the team. The second one that you saw that I looked at there with the bullets, that one is for the chance for your bullets to have water, because it's a big thing attacking against these hiss who are like just kind of, they're not like on fire, but they like get hotter as time progresses on. So I mean, I guess they kind of are, but like in the beginning they're not really that hot unless they run through fire, and then they progressively will be hotter and give you more damage and whatnot as well. But the other one that I collected was for swapping weapons, I believe, or faster reload as well. And once you're ready with that, then you can just ready up, and your team can ready up, and you'll load into you know, whatever level you picked or whatever the next level was. Say I wasn't the host, so we were just moving down the levels here. Same crew in this one. So with this next level, you'll see that there are these glowing rocks that I didn't realize at first what the purpose of them were, but it from the tip, the oversized elder leeches that I didn't notice them at first, but you'll hear like the weird squishy noises that they're making, or like squirmy wet noises. Those are the leeches. They're in the rocks on the walls, and what you have to do is you're gonna have to just shoot them, and randomly they will drop the radiated rocks. I forget what they called them.
You've glowed to death.
Leech pearls, upper left for the objective. So we have to get 20 of them, and also there is optional objectives, but I did not figure out how to remove the optional things that were like giving things out or whatever. So like we had this stapler that was following along, giving increased enemy health, you know, throughout the level, and also later on you will see a couple of other items. I believe there will be an oxygen tank or something like that, and also a rubber duck, and they all three of them are optional things. Maybe I just don't have the right items to be able to remove them, but I did definitely try tons of times to just shoot it and try to destroy them or collect them, and it didn't work. So with that being said, just so you know ahead of time, you will see them, you will see that, and I'm assuming that you will have a later upgrade or something that you can purchase that will allow you to do more damage to like a contaminated item, or maybe I just didn't shoot them long enough. But in any case, that is what they are there for. So in this part here, we are needing to move the cart, but I am doing it a little bit sooner than necessary because at this point in time, I still haven't realized that the pearls, neither of us, I believe, in the crew, realized that we need to be bringing those rated rocks back to the cart. Or they've slowly just begun to start doing that. We didn't start doing it from the beginning. But after I do figure that out, I realize that I pushed the cart all the way to the front, so it just kind of like slowly rolls back on its own anyways. But you have to get all of those before you can open up the door to the next zone. So that is the progression of what happens here.
Increased enemy health. The shuttle goes faster when more people are pushing it.
Yes, the shuttle does move a little bit faster, I guess, when you do have other people pushing it, but it's also really hard just for one person to narrowly be in the back of it. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's not necessary. It doesn't go that much faster.
Load the shuttle with leech.
So this is where I'm realizing that we have not done everything that's necessary, and they had ended up putting some of those stones in there, or maybe they just ended up rolling into the cart. I'm not really sure since I wasn't specifically paying attention to those first three. I'm not sure if a crew member threw them into the cart, but essentially once you do, as you can see, I was trying to also attack that and neutralize that stapler to get rid of the increased enemy health, but it didn't work. But there are generators around for lights and stuff and things like that, so there will be panels in different areas and stuff for that. But the main thing here that you have to realize is that you're gonna die a lot here without like proper protection and stuff. It doesn't take very long for you to get irradiated, And when you get irradiated like that, it
Wrong
will
button.
like
Whoops.
start hurting you even faster, obviously, the longer you're holding an item like that. But all you have to do is grab them and throw them in, like, just throw it at the cart and it'll automatically accept it. Or in some cases, if you're like super far away, you don't really have to run all the way across the map. I chose to do it a lot of times in this sense because I was just running to it and was also being chased by the hiss at different times, and there's a lot of times where all three of us go down constantly, but we do a lot of reviving to get through that initially without running out of all of our lives. So that is a good utilization of how the game properly works, and that you're not just going to die and end when you're all down. Now, you will have to make that choice if all three of you are down, and you only have a couple of lives left. You will have to, choose who's going to be redeployed, or just be the first one to redeploy, I guess, if you're not communicating with your teammates about that specifically. Now, these ropes, like you see that one to ride, you can also attach your objective items to them, as I was saying before, and it will automatically go like back to the other direction wherever it ends at. So you can use that for objectives in all the maps, not just for this one. The very first mission with hot fix, you can do it with the black rock salt barrels that you have to put into the furnace. That is a good way to get them over there quickly into the furnace for that one. And there's also for the irradiated rocks and stuff like that, so just be wary of that. And whoever has a splash kit can help kind of like remove that stuff, and or if you have the accessories like the water tanks and stuff that you can like remotely deploy and fill them up with water, then you can use that to give yourself health or to clear it out. So if you think about it strategically, placing somebody with a splash kit, placing down a water container in the middle of the area, depending on how big the map is, but if it's generally in your objective area, you can kind of stay wet and cooled down, and the water drop that you'll see also when you're taking a shower works as like a little water shield for a few seconds as well, as like it helping to like give you health after you've just gone through the shower. But it is really hard to like not go down in these states when you're on a difficulty with 3 players and they have a lot of heavies coming at you, plus you're doing a mission that has radiation, and neither of us had like anything super upgraded or anything like that. So whatever they have to maybe help against the radiation, myself, and I don't believe my crew members in these games had those things unlocked. If that is something that I have not gotten to yet, but will, and then we'll be going over that in that video as well. So at this point, we are just mowing them down as best we can. Some of them are coming out irradiated, some of them are coming out burning. It really just depends on the situation. In this one, with this mission, it was the radiation was a big thing. But that's not to say that there isn't fire and electrical hazards as well as doing whatever your main objective is. And there's also these. When you push these buttons and you find these doors, they are safe rooms that will most likely have some lost assets or whatever, a ton of ammo, but it also becomes a new safe zone location where when or if you die and need to redeploy, you can be redeployed in a closer position than your base starting point for the mission. So it is really handy that when you're running around trying to do stuff, you don't have to take hours searching around for things, and like leaving your crew out to die. But just be mindful of the things around you, because some of the shelter doors for the safe zones are smaller, some of them are bigger. Lost assets, you have to look for the glowing items. There are material items as well that you will collect along with the lost assets. Different colors will be coordinated with them, like the green, orange, purple, and stuff like that. Those are different materials. Like the green one that I have in my inventory at the time of going down, right next to the 6, that would be one of those that, you know, if I went through and say that was the only one I collected, I would collect that item. And then if I needed, you know, however many of those materials plus the perk points, those are for higher upgrading tiers, from like going from like weak to strong, from strong to resonant. From strong to resonant is a huge upgrade, because the resonation is something that helps you and your teammates, whether they have the perk or not. It's probably very subtle in percentage wise, but it will be a massive help in these levels, as you can see. Any little thing can help. Moving around as quickly as possible, constantly checking, and then just, you know, working on the objectives. We kind of did have a good basis going on for most of the maps that I played with these guys, who were completely random, not anybody off of a friends list or anything. We were doing pretty good and had a good system going, even though we didn't have communication issues with being PC and Xbox and stuff. And I believe it was me and another guy, might have been from Xbox, and PC or PlayStation. So communication wasn't exactly 100%, but we figured out that they were doing better as attacking and defending, while I was doing objectives for the most part. But that doesn't mean that should be the only thing you do. Picking one item, maybe mainly focusing on objectives would be your thing, but also be sure to help out your teammates when they are in trouble, and they'll be highlighted, you know, when they're through walls and stuff like that, so you'll know when they're gonna need help and stuff. And when they go down, go after them, because like I said, you have a long bleed out bar, and if you go down, you will most likely be able to get up by your crew member. Now, if you're by yourself, obviously you cannot pick yourself up, but when you're on solo, you have like twice the amount of lives, and with the perks, like I said, those replenish over time as well, so you don't really have to worry about that either. So we just we're going through here, trying to make it back to the elevator, trying to make it to the next zone, and trying to make it back to the shuttle with the last few pearls. So there's a lot of walking around. It wouldn't have taken this long if the difficulty wasn't with the max 3 players in the squad and everything like that. If it was a little bit less, or on an easier mode, Hiss wouldn't attack as often. But that's just part of the difficulty, is that they're like continually attacking with not too much wait time in between each little round of them showing up. And obviously on this level, they were a lot harder, different anomalies versus just the regular infantry possessed Hiss running around as well. So they were a little bit quicker, or flying, or throwing projectiles at you. So those are all things you have to watch out for as well. But as you go through the levels, you will progress pretty quickly and can figure out what kind of best loadout would suit you in these situations, because everybody plays a little bit differently. But in these sequences, my main go-to ends up being this submachine gun, I believe. And also, I believe I get the light machine gun as well. I'm not sure if I get that a little later here, but there is that, and there's lots of environmental damage, obviously. So there are like things like sprinklers and stuff, and when things drop, that can put out fires and other things like that. So use those things to your advantage as well when you're in these areas and you're fighting things while also trying to do objectives. But you know, don't forget to move around and train out your enemies just like you would be in zombies, my friends. Don't let them come up behind you and get you stuck in a corner, because then you definitely will probably go down. Not necessarily, but you know, throwing a grenade will hurt you or something like that too, so it's not wise to not be paying attention, because then you will get backed into a corner if your teammates aren't paying attention either. So we got the last one. We got to the next zone now. As we progress into the next zone, you don't have to press the buttons right away, but there are a couple of things about these situations as well when you're moving from zone to zone. So with the old house, as it's referred to, that is the headquarters for the Federal Bureau of Control. And within the old house is kind of like Hogwarts in Harry Potter. If you're familiar with how things move around in there, specifically mostly like the staircases and stuff like that, it has a mind of its own. It is an anomaly of itself, the first, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And so it is constantly changing things a lot, and so things can get confusing as far as like paths and whatnot, but you don't have to go to the next sequence right away if you need to get like ammo or, you know, use a shower before going on. But just remember that just because you cleared the zone or the clearance area, the enemies will still continue to come after you. They will still keep coming no matter what until the mission is done. Like they won't just stop because you have not moved on to the next zone. Now those as far as I know, they can't be destroyed, but you can just kind of like push them back. But that is like essentially like the stuff that you see around you in the map there that you see around me, like the walls and stuff. It's just like some sort of a material that is the hiss, and they're alien of some kind, and they, as far as I know, those ones don't die or can't die. They just kind of like float around, so you kind of have to like just be careful, watch out for them. But I believe they also attract enemies fairly easily too. So if you're not trying to like push them back or get them away from you or run away from them so that they're like not right next to you, I mean, if they do die, it probably takes quite a bit of you know, ammo that you probably don't have to spare, especially if a round is starting. And when a round is starting, you will most likely see here when I'm done jumping around that when they spawn, you can kind of see where they spawn in, or if you listen through your headset, if you're using headset, which I would highly recommend, with 3D spatial sound, of course. That's pretty standard nowadays with most headphones, decent ones anyways, but that'll help you to alleviate directionally where enemies are obviously coming from. But with the hiss coming into the maps, you will be able to see like a red glow. They will just kind of like in right where the red glow is and like right around it and stuff, depending on how big the batch of enemies is. But sometimes they're like right off to the side but still in the map, or sometimes you will be walking around and the red light will just show up next to you. That's enemies spawning in, like that one right up on the right hand side of me. You can see the red light glowing back there. That is them spawning in. So in this next area, as you can see, the levels, as far as it goes, aren't too intricate in what you need to do. It's just that they're difficult, or that the objectives are highly different from the previous mission. But with this being the next zone, we're just loading the shuttle with more of the leech pearls, as they call them, those radiated rocks that come from those weird worm things, or whatever they call them, and also looking out for the hiss that come through. And some of the stronger anomalies, like that one that was irradiated, they're like wraiths almost, that just kind of like can be invisible until they get right up to you and attack like that, and they're dangerous. Very strong, not impossible to dodge, and I believe there are even perks that can be collected, you know, depending on what you choose and, you know, whatever level you have unlocked, because things only unlock as your level progresses, of course. So you'll have to keep playing the levels to gain more experience, to collect everything, and keep going from there.
Holy shit! Back to work, buddy. Finally won. Come on.
Well, you can only get so far with those
Thanks for
things.
the help. Shake it off.
Got you.
Thanks for the help.
Almost there. Now get the shuttle inside the launcher.
Neutralize the rubber duck. What in the hell?
As you can see, we are now progressing through the final zone area, and I'm pushing the cart along through this black rock quarry, and it will give us our details objectives, or the end objective details.
Rock quarry. Okay.
So we have a powerful enemy here. This one's name is Amanda Sullivan, so obviously a regular employee that is part of the Hiss now. But the whole thing is that they will show up, usually, at least for me, I've seen, when you're on the way back
So
to open up the elevator. Or maybe would be to get into another zone or something like that, or it would pop up when you're trying to leave a zone or whatever. Maybe not the end of the level, but that's the main time that I've seen it, is when you have completed stuff, and the only way to successfully open the elevator will be to eliminate all the Hiss, and the extra strong, powerful enemy will have to be killed. Like in this one case, is to lift the sector lockdown that has occurred from the Hiss showing up. And depending on the powerful enemy that you're facing, I suppose there could be different weak spots or different
got 3
abilities
lives left. I don't know
that
if we're gonna get
they
through this.
have. So you just have to watch out for them, especially if there's like a new type you're coming across or something. Like the guys with the pipes and the weak spot being right on their back. You have to just be mindful of stuff like
Wait
that.
it out
And
as
then
long
the
as I
floating
can,
chair guys can do lots of things
Save the
with,
lives.
like, I think they can sort of strengthen or shield your their teammates, your enemies. They can throw stuff at you, probably give them health or ammo, other things like that. So you have to try and take them out just as quickly as heavies, and of course, always keep your eye on the powerful mini boss, so that you don't die in the process either. So another thing I want to quick show you that can happen that I spoke about earlier, when you are running out of lives, as you can see in the left side middle there with the green tokens at 2, those are our team lives. There's 3 of us, but only 2 lives left. So this would be a point where if you are, you know, able to vocally communicate with them somehow or chat, if you're not playing with friends, then you know, do that. Otherwise, you have to, you know, somebody's gonna have to redeploy, but a person will end up not, you know, redeploying because we only had 2 lives.
That sucks.
So this is what happened right here. I did not spawn in quick enough to redeploy, but they're still finishing up the mission by getting to the elevator and turning it on and getting out of there. And as they do that, I will still complete the trial. I still completed the mission, but all of the things that I would have collected, I lost assets for perk points, like the ones I physically found or when I killed an enemy and picked them up, and those are did not come out with me because I died. And I think they probably picked up a few of them so that they, you know, just wouldn't be completely lost altogether. But you still gain points as well from just, you know, completing the mission and whatever you did. So it's not like you're completely lost out of it, but this is a good situation to keep in hand. MIA.
What the fuck?
Alright, so that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thanks for stopping in. If you like the video, please like it. Consider subscribing. There's only 87% of you that aren't subscribed. It would be awesome, and it would help out tremendously if you did. We'll see you later. Bye.
I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages, a vacant modern kingdom for the taking.